will read Kayla's bio and then we will bring her up on stage.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, so we have Kayla. I'm excited to have Kayla. Kayla is a certified financial planner, professional with almost a decade of experience assisting high net worth individuals and families with their financial planning needs. With the love for planning and organizing, I may need you, girl. You like to plan and you like to organize. Kayla brings her wealth of processes to Bailey Wealth Advisors. Her practice focuses on high earning women and business professionals. And I will say this, even if you're not a high earning woman, as a woman who is leading change, you need to declare that you are a high earning woman. So I highly recommend that you pull those ears out, pull the hair back, and listen to this presentation because we are high income earning leaders, even if your bank account doesn't say so. I declare billionaire status on a regular basis. Anyone who knows me, Nancy is a billionaire. Yes, my bank account is very high in value. Kayla is passionate about teaching financial literacy, traveling the world, and cheering on her LSU Tigers to another national championship victory. Okay, girl, I love it. Kayla is global. That's why she's here. Well, without further ado, let me bring her on up. Welcome, Kayla. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you feeling today? What are you most excited about for the I Am Change conference? Share before we get started.
Yes, I am great. I am happy to be here. Thank you so much for hosting this and giving us all of us ladies this platform. From here in America, literally across the pond over to Africa and everywhere else in the world. This is amazing. I've been listening to some of the speakers already. I'm like, oh, okay, like this is awesome. Like learning about these different women, what they do, how they are interacting with the world and creating changes with their business. The lady earlier who spoke, who's from South Africa with the suits, I'm like, okay, definitely need to connect with her. I love South Africa. And who doesn't love a good power suit? So definitely looking forward to connecting with her and hearing the wonderful information from the rest of the ladies who are speaking today and all of the ladies who are speaking tomorrow.
Yeah. Definitely connect with Norma. Her suits are amazing. Suitably Norma for those who are interested. I am a suit girl, but I like really nice suits.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I am pulling your presentation is loading, and then we will get started
All right.
with your
Awesome.
presentation. All right. We'll go ahead and I will get out your.
All right, you just disappeared so fast. Okay, so here is my presentation. I entitled this Money Business because this is all about setting a strong financial foundation for yourself, whether you are just starting out, whether you've kind of been in this game for a little bit and still just trying to figure it out, trying to change some habits that you learned growing up, whatever the case may be. Like the goal of this presentation for me is to help you just build lay a strong foundation for the empire in which you're trying to build, because you cannot build an empire on a weak foundation. Obviously, if you're here, you're obviously interested in doing some big, amazing things. So we want to make sure that we dig deep and build a strong foundation for you to land on. So let me see. Do I have controls of this or no? Okay. Yep. So this is my bio, you guys. She already read it. Just a little bit about me. As she mentioned, I'm a certified financial planner, and I am here in the Silver Spring area, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. So our objectives for today, we're going to, one, we're going to talk about managing your money business, and then two, we're going to talk about releasing emotional ties to money. And so first, I want to talk about releasing emotional ties to money because money is very emotional. We make very emotional decisions with our money, whether it's you're feeling bad, you want to go shopping, whether it's, something happened and you want to go spend some money on it, be food, clothes, whatever, anything that's going to make you feel better. When you look at your bank account, it's not where it wants to be. That's another emotional trigger for you. And so there are just a couple of things that I want to discuss, of things that I wish we as women would stop doing so that we could stop falling into this emotional pit of despair when it comes to money. So not sure if you guys are following with the slides. We can't see an update. So things to stop doing. Number one, we're going to stop reading articles about how much money you should have saved by X. I mean, I get there's a lot of books out there that give you like these nice little formulas of, take your age times your income and divide it by this many years or divide it by 10 or whatever. And this is how much money you should have saved by this time. And all of that is great. It's fantastic. They're great benchmarks. But if you are not there, that's just another way that can help you, that would cause you to spiral in feeling like you're not adequate, you're not good enough, you're not where you should be. But the truth of the matter is you are where you are, and this is exactly where you're supposed to be. Also, another thing is stop comparing your salary to people who are much older than you or random people who you see on social media, because everybody now on social, everybody believes in transparency now. And everybody wants to, oh, this is how I made, like, this is my salary progression from when I started in 2017 or 2016. And here's where I am now. And now I make, this 6-figure number or whatever the case may be. So just stop comparing. Stop comparing. You know what you have to offer. You know what your skill set is. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you to not do your research. Definitely go out and see what the market is saying the value is for your skills. So don't sell yourself short, but also don't put yourself in the comparison game, because comparison kills. And then lastly, stop feeling like as if you aren't where you should be by now. Like I said earlier, you are where you are, and where you are is exactly where you are supposed to be. All right, so now let's get into talking about managing your money business. So your top 4 actions of money are pretty much this. It's across the board. Doesn't matter whether you're here in America, over in Africa, whatever. Every time you get money, for most people, you want to give something back. Obviously, if you're here, you believe in giving to good organizations and putting your money in great places. If you are a person of faith, you attend some type of church or synagogue, whatever it is, you obviously are giving there. Obviously, we're all trying to save some money, trying to do our best by investing in appreciating assets, something that's going to hold us over, delayed gratification, take us into the long run. And then obviously paying off debt, which is a huge thing if you're here in America, because things are morbidly expensive, whether it's coming from like paying off debt or trying to get a mortgage, all of these things, we're all just trying to balance out life. And these primarily for most everybody. A lot of people are debt free, and I am so happy for you. Fantastic. We are all going to be there. As Nancy said, we decree and declare that we are all billionaires and we are all debt free. But for most people, these are going to be your top 4 actions of money. And so next you have to like really look at yourself and, say, I am the CEO of my life. Like, we're here talking, we're here with Strategic Solutions with Nancy. She's obviously the CEO of this business. And whether you are fresh out of college, mid-career, whatever, you are the CEO of your life. And all businesses, business is business. Business is the business of, like, it's the business of America. It's the business of Africa. It's the business everywhere. Like, corporate finance is corporate finance. This is why people can transfer jobs all over the world, because money is money. Numbers do not lie. So the 2 things you want to look at is like what's coming in and what's going out. And that's going to let you know what your cash flow is. And ultimately, at the end of the day, as a business owner, even if you're not a business owner, if you think in this fashion, it's like after all this money comes in and and after I'm putting all this money out on whatever the expenses may be, what's left over? And what's left over is going to let you know if you are profitable. And if you aren't profitable, obviously now you need to really look at and see like, okay, where do I need to cut back? How can I make some more money? Obviously, that's the mindset for most entrepreneurs. If you see yourself, it's like, okay, this is getting a little tight. How can I go out and make some more money? Like, do I need to put a program together? Do I need to collaborate with somebody? How can I expand my audience and get new people, expand my reach to get new people into, get new eyes on my business, on my service, on my product? If you're just a regular, consumer, and you are not an entrepreneur, but you're an entrepreneur because you're working for somebody else's business, you're probably asking yourself, okay, what do I need to cut back on? And how can I make more money? Whether that's up leveling in skills, getting a new certification, whatever it is. And if you are profitable, then you need to ask yourself, how are you distributing those profits? So if you're a regular entrepreneur working for someone else, then, maybe it's putting more money into assets that have the potential to appreciate, like the market, or even into yourself. You are your greatest investment. If you're a business owner, where are you distributing? Like 9 times out of 10, I would assume that you are putting most of your profits back into the business because we want it to grow. We want it to go global, which is why we're all here. Or are, you falling victim to the hype of everybody has a G-Wagon now. Let me go buy a G-Wagon so I can write it off of my taxes, or purchasing other things that, don't have the potential to appreciate in the future and provide you with possibly a stream of income. And so, speaking of income, there's this guy I used to follow on Instagram, and this is kind of like a thing that I had taken from him. And he would always say the magic wealth formula, which is so simple, is get money by income. And obviously, you get money through various ways, whether that is through your job, that through your business, whether you are selling stuff out of your house, or just any, various other sources. There's obviously, we have a large gig economy. So whether you are using your gifts and talents, you're playing, you're making things, whatever it is, and then using that money, using your profits to buy things that can actually provide you with income in the future. So these items here have the potential to provide you with income in the future, whether that be stocks, bonds, real estate, annuities. Obviously, adding your business, which if you keep it up and put the right systems in place, it can provide you with income pretty much in perpetuity if you contract that right. And with that, even as simple as that sounds, with get money by income, there's always going to be some type of threat, right? So whether that be unexpected expenses, because life happens, right? It doesn't matter how good things may be going. And, it's also not a great way to look at life. It's like, things are going to happen. But we know it's also about how you react to it. So instead of being down and out about it, you just go ahead and prepare for it. Like, okay, like we know things are going to happen. If you own a home, something's probably going to break. Even if you're in an apartment, like things can happen. There have been plenty of people around here who have had cars stolen, catalytic converters stolen off of their cars. All of these things cost money. And then unexpected losses. Maybe you are dependent on somebody, or someone is dependent on you, and you lose your job, or someone who's helping to maintain your household, they lose their job, or someone dies. Like all of these things are threats to your cash flow. And this is why we want to protect what you are building. And so protection can come in many forms, but if you are working for somebody, if you have worked for somebody and you had an account with a beneficiary designation on it, go ahead and number one, you want to make sure you name those beneficiaries. So whether that be on like your old retirement plans, whether that be on pension plans, whether that be your insurance plans, make sure that the people who you have named as your beneficiary, well, one, just make sure you name the beneficiary. And then two, make sure those people who you may have named 10 years ago, 5 years ago, are still the people who you want to benefit if something were to happen to you. And this goes for your family as well. Like make sure your parents have gotten their stuff up to date. And then secondly, create an estate plan. Obviously, as a financial planner, I do not draft estate planning documents. This is something you would have to go to an estate planning attorney for. But go seek help in helping them in helping you draft your documents. So thinking about like your healthcare medical directives, your power of attorney, financial directives, guardianship for your children. Obviously, we don't like to think about these things because we, kind of wish we're going to be here to see our kids grow up. We're going to be around for a very long time. But, COVID's taught us all that that's really not the case. So we want to make sure we have these documents in place so that people can make decisions on our behalf, or you can make decisions on someone else's behalf if they are unable to do that for themselves. And then last but not least, get insurance. Protect what you are building. Like if you are a working individual, you are the golden goose. You are a breadwinner. Protect what you're building. And also health insurance. Here in America, it's crazy. Y'all know it is just like I like to joke and say it's like it's one of the biggest scams ever, with the health insurance, but it's expensive. Getting disability insurance, property and casualty, homeowners, all that stuff, protect your assets, is the bottom line. And then secondly, want to make sure you create your own board of directors. And so this is obviously a real big thing if you're a business owner and you're trying to go global. Obviously, you're going to have a board of directors with various different other entrepreneurs or other experts in their field who can come together and give you diversity of thought. And that's pretty much the same idea when you are creating your board of directors for your life, for your own financial life. So obviously you want to have, like I mentioned, an estate planning attorney that's going to help you draft up these documents to protect yourself. You want to have somebody who's going to help you get the right insurances that you need. You want to have somebody like myself who is a financial professional who really can help you round out that house. And then obviously you want to have like someone that's a CPA or an accountant, someone licensed to prepare your taxes. So that way you aren't getting in trouble with your government entities and ended up owing them, thousands of dollars, because nobody wants to do that, right? And so if you guys can put this pyramid on the screen for me. So here is just like a family legacy pyramid. And these are 3 questions that I really want you to ask yourself when it comes to financial wellness and building your financial household. Number 1, ask yourself, am I okay? Like, go back and look at the formula, income minus expenses. Is there cash flow left over? How am I doing? And then you can look out and say, is my family okay? And if I am okay and if my family's okay, then let me tap into, is my community okay? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup the same way you can't give what you don't have. And sometimes when people see you doing good, obviously they want to ask you for things, but you always have to give with the thought in mind that if I give this person money because they're asking for it, you have to fully expect that you're not going to get it back. Just already have that in mind and ask yourself, am I able to live without these funds that I am giving to this person because they asked for it? So always making sure you're okay, then you're making sure your family's okay, then making sure your community is okay. And so before we get into questions, can you guys put up the checklist first, just so you guys can have some actionable steps of what you can do on your journey to financial wellness. So it makes it so much easier when you have your priorities. Just like pick your top 3 things and let's go with those. Know your cash flow, figure out how to increase your income and minimize your expenses. Making sure your cash flow is being allocated to your top 3 priorities. So just in business, like if you ever went through business branding, mission statement, whatever it is, when it comes to that, it's like, here are our top three priorities. Here are our top 3 definers. And if this decision does not is not conducive or is not serving either one of these 3 things, then we're not doing it. And so it's the same thing with your life, and then covering your bases and then create and work your own financial plan. So with that, if there are any questions, I want to make sure I leave a little bit of time and stay on base so you guys can keep the rest of the conference on track. Okay. All right, and that's my contact information. If you guys want to reach out to me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. That's where you will find most of my professional life. You can look me up on social. That's where you'll find most of my personal life. But yeah, anywhere you want to connect, please feel free. Love to connect with you all, connect, create, and be catalysts for change, as Nancy has been saying all since the beginning of this conference.
Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. That was a wealth of knowledge. I am going to start with questions. Any questions for Kayla? She had such an amazing presentation. I actually just have a question as far as like, I feel like financial wealth building is a spectrum, and you have where when you're really wealthy, here are some things that you can do. And then I'm just trying to figure it out. Can you give practical advice from both ends?
Yeah. So obviously, the majority of people are not born, with a silver spoon in their mouth, right? So we are starting this thing almost from scratch. Like we saw what our parents did. Our parents, obviously, their goal was to do better than their parents did, and obviously, our goal now as adults is to do better than our parents did. And so, it's kind of like the age old adage of where you go somewhere and you take all the things that you need and do away with the things you don't. So whether that is reading books, and there's a wealth of financial literacy books out there that you can start from, and just really gaining that knowledge, and then also not just having the knowledge but also putting it into practice. So getting around people who are doing better than you in this area. Like we never want to be, as they say, you never want to be the smartest person in the room, right? So if you can get yourself into a room, like Nancy, you said, I'm a billionaire. Getting in the room with other billionaires is kind of like by osmosis. You start thinking like these people because you start learning and seeing how they're moving, how they're reacting. And you can start to think like that, and it'll put you kind of in those, it'll put you in a different mindset, because that's really all it is. Like people say all the time, like poverty really isn't a place, it's a mindset. Like that's really what it is. And so we want to get ourselves away from that mindset and into a wealth mindset, being here in, as most people here are probably entrepreneurs, saying I am a global change agent. Putting yourself into the mindset, positive affirmations, using the things that you are learning to build yourself up. And then obviously, if you do come from a little bit of money, you obviously don't want to be the kid who squanders all of your parents or your grandparents' hard work. And so yet and still educating yourself, making sure you are up to date, learning how did we get here? How can I keep this going? Back to the board of directors, making sure you have smart people in your corner who can advise you and assist you on your path.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whoa. Last question of poverty. So the facts, poverty mindset is real. It's funny because I would say your mindset, which Stella was speaking about mindset's so powerful, but there really is like a wealth mindset that people have to adopt, and an abundance mindset to even be able to start to operate in that way. I do have one final question for you, and then we'll shift. Is there a tool we can use to assess your emotional relationship with money? Or are there some reflective questions to help get started? So any tools?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are some tools out on the internet that can help you with your emotional intelligence when it comes to money. But if you don't, feel like Googling those, some of the questions you can ask yourself, and these are more so where you have to be cognizant of really addressing your emotional state. So if something happens, in your life, or thinking about like, okay, here's where I am. Why did I do this? Like if I go to the grocery store and I only want to pay with cash, question is, why do I want to do that? Or if I get a bill and I don't want to pay it right on time, I want to pay half of it now, half of it later, why do I do that? Asking yourself these questions, like when you are making these actions with your money, taking the time to reflect, like, why did I do this? If you just got off a big shopping spree, and now that you kind of come down off the high, asking yourself, like, why did I just go spend all this money? Like, is this making me feel better? How long is this going to like, just questions like that. And really, instead of just kind of living haphazardly, start paying attention to your habits that you probably didn't know were habits. And then, as I tell people all the time, if you go back and look at the last 3 months of your bank statements or your credit card statements,
Yeah.
it will 100% tell you where your priorities are.
Yeah. You got to have the real conversations with yourself, right? Those statements will tell you the truth.
Yes, they will tell you the truth.
Awesome. And then a final tip, and then also how can people connect with you?
Yes. Final thing, I do have a free resource for you guys. You can go to bit.ly/moneybiz, so moneybiz 2024, and that'll get you to the page where you can download the free resource that I have for you guys. Feel free to connect with me. Like I said, on LinkedIn, I'm there. You can connect with me on my personal social media. It's just the @ Miss MISS Kayla 11. So just my name. Also there. And really just stay focused, like stay focused, and know that financial wellness is not a sprint. It really is a marathon, because life, it ebbs and flows, right? It goes up and down. But if you have your plan, if you have, you know, your mindset, everything on track, and you have the right people in your corner, like, you're gonna make it. Like, you're Nancy, you're gonna make it to billionaire status. Like,
Well, thank
we
you.
got this. Like, you're gonna make it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, thank you so much for just giving us your time today in this amazing presentation. If you are registered, you will get the direct links that Kayla has access to. And if you're in the app, if you have the Disrupt Her ticket, you have an opportunity to actually connect in real time with Kayla for 90 days in the Disruptor app. I'm going to continue to say that because I think connections are powerful. I will name right here on this platform that I wouldn't be where I am today if I was not intentional about really cultivating connections and building authentic relationships. So thank you, Kayla, so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to continue to get this show on the road. Like I said, I am extremely excited about this particular segment of the day. This is like my highlight. I started by saying the I Am Change panel was something that I was excited for, and so